Every child is unique. They are all authentic. And so we have to tailor the tips that I'm going to show you to their individual learning style, their needs. So there are many, many tips that you can find. I focused on just, let's say, 13, 14 tips that can help our FGACs, our future global agents of change, develop strong study skills. But in order to do this, our students, right, they need patience, they need encouragement, and they need communication. These three things play a huge role in helping them develop the skills and the tips that I'm going to show you now. Patience, something that being a teacher, it is challenged every single day, right? Encouragement, that we have to take the time out of our busy day to positively encourage our students day in and day out, and to foster and nurture communication with our kids, not only in school, what's happening at home, so we can understand the why. Why are they feeling this way? Why are they not doing well in school? Why are they not studying as much as they should? Okay. So, first tip, organizing our study space. This desk is a desk that I had when I was going to school in New York. It was about this big, this tall, this wide, and this deep. And this is how it looked. An absolute mess. Can you relate to this when you went to school? Some of you, not all of you, right? That your desks sometimes look like this. Do your students have their desks looking like this? Some teachers are disagreeing because your desks were very neat and very nice, right? Organized, very good. Sometimes, not all the time. Clutter-free, setting up a clutter-free and quiet study area, free from distractions. So when you give students in class a time to reflect and to remember things and to study either individually in pairs or in groups, it needs to be quiet and free from distractions. Ask your students at home, is their environment free from distractions? I don't know. This is what we need to ask our students. What are the benefits of having a well-organized workspace? Now, for every tip I show, I am going to have a question asked. I would like you to answer it in the question box. So what do you guys think? What could be some of the benefits of having a well-organized workspace? What do you think, dear teachers? What could be some of the benefits? If you have a well-organized workspace. When you study, do you save time looking to see what it is you have to study? How do they feel? More time for ideas? Yes. How do they feel when their area is more organized? There's less procrastination. Yes. Less mental distractions. Yes. If their area is cluttered, their mind needs to be decluttered, right? Being more focused, feeling more relaxed, absolutely. Not having so much stress, absolutely, yes. So this is something that we need to discuss with our students. First is their space, their personal space. Now, when we're talking about their personal space at home, there's something that I saw in my travels. When I would go to a classroom and I would speak to students, two things I saw affected the way that the students were participating, engaging, feeling aware of what's going on. And those two things that are extremely important about the study space is, number one, that's right, the room temperature. Now, you're joining us from all around the world. We have Serbia, Lithuania, Mexico, Latin America, the MENA region. And I am sure that your classrooms are sometimes very, very hot, right? And sometimes all we have is a fan to cool down our students. Sometimes, if we're lucky, we have an air condition, right? Room temperature is so important. Okay, so you can understand what I'm saying, right? Even for you as a teacher, teaching is very difficult when the room temperature is too hot. So students start to become very tired and they're not focused. So maybe this is something we need to address with the proper directors to change this. The second thing that I've seen is the lighting of the room, the room of a child at their house. If there's not enough light, what happens? We can't focus. And so these are two extremely important things that we need to reflect on, especially in the classroom, and asking students about their personal space at home if their workspace is okay. All right. The second tip, study routines, creating a consistent study routine, something that is very, very important for our students. Establishing a regular study schedule that includes designated times and breaks. So, my question here is, what helps children, our students, develop a sense of discipline and responsibility when it comes to this? What helps children develop a sense of discipline and responsibility? What do you think, teachers? Remember, routines and habits are extremely important. When students study, they usually study what they are good at first. They usually study what they're comfortable with first, instead of spending the first time, the initial study time, in going over what is challenging them first, putting their effort into that, and then going to the things that they are comfortable with and that they can get very easily. I had mentioned in another webinar the Pomodoro effect. I don't know if you've ever used it. After the webinar that I conducted, many teachers said that it worked quite splendidly. And that's studying for 25 minutes and taking a break for 5. A full break, like removing yourself from the environment, and then studying again for 25 minutes. Now, of course, the debate is if a child is in primary school, a teenager, an adult, is it the same? Routine is equal to habit, just as pure habits to study properly. Routines and habits. So basically, if you set up a routine, little by little, you start to form more habits because you have this set routine, right? And if your habits change, then that's a break in your routine, in your day, right? So what can help children to develop a sense of discipline and responsibility is setting up this routine in their day. Give me a moment. I lost the question box. I lost the question box. Okay, there it is. And one more thing about the routines is that students, especially now that they're going back to school, it's taking them out of their summer routine and putting them into their school routine, their academic routine, right? It's this transitional period, which is why I'm very happy to deliver this today. And that is, in the next week or two, to start talking to your students about this. Before I get into goals, something else that I mentioned with my son before I started speaking was what time are you going to go to bed tonight? Because he starts school on Monday. And his sleeping schedule, his sleeping routine also changed during the summer. So he needs to start getting to bed earlier and waking up earlier and shifting his sleeping routine, because sleep is very important for our students. And unfortunately, our students are not getting enough of it. Would you agree? Huh? Another question you can ask your students is, how much do they sleep during the week? Okay. Setting up clear goals. Aristotle had said that we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, therefore, is not an act, but, Natalia, a habit. Okay. And so setting clear goals is very, very important. We must teach our FGACs, our children, to set specific, achievable goals for each study session. Think about this in your class. If you do after-school activities, if you do after-school help, all right. Will setting clear goals help our FGACs stay focused and motivated? Absolutely. Isn't this what we want? Don't we want to keep our students focused and motivated in what they're doing every week? In order to do this, we have to share with them and say that, okay, in order for us to be successful, we need to have these goals set in place. And these goals are things that you can work on together. For example, it's Monday. All right, my FGACs. When you go home, what is it that we're going to do when we study? How are we going to prepare ourselves to study better, more efficiently, more effectively? As we said, the environment, right? Setting up the environment, the workspace, right? Setting up clear goals, setting up routines. Okay, and go through this with your students. Make sure that they're following up on this. Teenagers say that they don't sleep enough. Okay, yeah, and that's, that doesn't help in class. I mean, when students have, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 subjects to study for, and they go home and they have homework in each of those subjects, and they want to have a little bit of their social life after school, they have sports, they have to eat, they have to, they have other responsibilities. It's very important that they get enough sleep. Okay.